You know what's hilarious? We've convinced ourselves that procrastination is a character flaw. Like you're sitting there at 11 p.m., deadline looming, hating yourself for not starting earlier, thinking, I just need more discipline, or I'm so lazy. Wrong. You're not lazy. You're not broken. Your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do, and it's screwing you over in the process. But here's what actually matters. Procrastination has nothing to do with time management. You don't procrastinate because you're bad at planning. You procrastinate because your brain has an overprotective bodyguard that thinks opening your laptop to write that report is equivalent to fighting a bear. I call him Gary. Gary's job is to keep you safe and conserve your energy, but Gary's an idiot. Today, I'm giving you the 2-minute rule. The one that actually works because it sneaks past Gary instead of fighting him head on. Every task has what psychologists call activation energy, the mental effort required to start something. And Gary is obsessed with conserving energy. He's running ancient software designed for a world where every calorie mattered for survival. So when you think about starting that project, Gary doesn't see write an introduction paragraph. He sees the entire overwhelming mountain, the research, the drafts, the editing, the potential failure, the judgment, all of it in one giant, terrifying package. And what does Gary do? He hits the emergency brake. Not today, Satan. We're gonna scroll instead. This is the starting problem. The task isn't hard once you're doing it. Starting is what kills you. Think about the last time you finally started something you'd been avoiding for weeks. How long did you actually hate doing it once you began? Probably like 5 minutes, max? Then you got into flow and wondered why you'd been avoiding it at all. The gap between thinking about a task and doing a task is where procrastination lives. And Gary makes that gap artificially huge because he processes things you haven't started yet as potential threats. Your brain runs on 2 modes, autopilot and effort mode. Autopilot is fast, automatic, emotional. This is Gary's domain. Effort mode is slow, deliberate, logical. It burns glucose. It requires focus. Gary would rather watch paint dry than turn on effort mode unnecessarily. But here's the exploit Gary doesn't know about. Autopilot can't tell the difference between starting and doing. It just knows whether you're in motion or not. Once you're moving, Gary's like, oh, I guess we're doing this now, and stops resisting. The activation energy drops to almost zero once you've actually begun. This is why the hardest part of going to the gym is putting on your shoes. The hardest part of writing is opening the document. The hardest part of making dinner is getting the ingredients out. Motion creates momentum. Momentum tells Gary to shut up and get out of the way. Okay, quick question, and actually pause this video for a second. Think about what you were supposed to do today, but didn't. Got it? That feeling in your stomach right now? That's not guilt. That's Gary's alarm system freaking out over an imaginary bear. Your brain thinks that task is dangerous. It's not, but Gary can't tell the difference between write email and escape predator, so he treats them both like survival threats. Here's something wild. Studies show productive people procrastinate just as much as everyone else. They just procrastinate on different things. They've figured out how to hack which tasks Gary resists. Here's the rule. When you face a task you're avoiding, commit to doing it for just 2 minutes. That's it, 2 minutes. Then you can stop guilt-free. Not 2 minutes of preparing to do it, not 2 minutes of thinking about it. 2 actual minutes of doing the thing. Sounds stupid, right? Like, what can you actually accomplish in 2 minutes? That's exactly why it works. Gary isn't scared of 2 minutes. 2 minutes isn't threatening. There's no performance pressure in 2 minutes. You can't fail meaningfully in 2 minutes. So Gary doesn't throw up resistance because the cost-benefit analysis actually makes sense. Sure, we can handle 2 minutes of discomfort, but here's the beautiful part. After 2 minutes, you almost never stop, because once you've started, the activation energy is gone. You're in motion. Gary has clocked out. The resistance has evaporated. You don't need discipline to continue something you've already started. You need discipline to start. The 2-minute rule eliminates the only part that actually requires willpower. Okay, real talk. Some of you are watching this video to procrastinate on something right now, aren't you? Here's your chance. Whatever you're avoiding, open that tab. Open that app. Stand up and grab that first item. 2 minutes of actual doing. Not planning, not preparing, doing. I'll be here when you get back. Seriously, go. 2 minutes. Did you do it? If you did, notice how Gary immediately shut up the second you started moving. If you didn't, pay close attention to this next part, because I'm about to explain exactly why you didn't. The 2-minute rule works because it surgically targets the actual mechanism of procrastination. Procrastination is an emotional regulation problem, not a time management problem. You avoid tasks because thinking about them creates negative emotions, anxiety, overwhelm, self-doubt, boredom. Gary offers you escape through distraction, but you can't feel anxious about something you're actively doing. Anxiety lives in anticipation. Once you're in action, the emotional charge disappears, and Gary has nothing to protect you from. The rule also destroys perfectionism. You can't be perfect in 2 minutes. There's no time for it. So your inner critic doesn't even bother showing up. Now, here's how people screw this up. They do 2 minutes of planning instead of doing. Opening your calendar isn't starting. Opening your email inbox and staring at it isn't starting. Making a to-do list about the task isn't starting. Opening the document and typing literally anything, even "I hate this assignment and I have no idea where to start," that's starting. Picking up physical items and moving them to where they belong, that's starting. Reading one paragraph of your textbook with actual attention, that's starting. Gary is smart enough to know the difference between motion and preparation. Don't let him trick you into 2 minutes of productive procrastination. Every time you honor the 2-minute commitment and actually start, you're rewiring the association between thinking about task and doing task. You're proving to Gary that his alarm system is broken. Over time, the pattern becomes see task, start task. No negotiation, no drama. Gary learns to save his energy for actual threats. All right, here's your real challenge, and I'm dead serious about this. Right now, before you click away from this video, identify one task you've been avoiding. Just one. Could be something massive you've been putting off for months, or something small from today's to-do list that you keep skipping over. Got it? Good. Now here's what you're going to do within the next 60 seconds of this video ending. You're going to start it for 2 minutes. If it's a phone call, dial the number. If it's an email, open your inbox and type the recipient's address. If it's cleaning, stand up and grab the first item. If it's a project, open the file and write one terrible sentence. 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes of actual doing. And here's the deal. If, after 2 minutes, you genuinely want to stop, you can. No guilt. You've fulfilled the commitment. But I'm betting you won't stop. I'm betting you'll keep going, because you'll discover that Gary was lying to you about how hard this would be. The starting was the only hard part. Everything else is just momentum. The 2-minute rule isn't about tricking yourself into working. It's about proving to yourself and to Gary that starting isn't as dangerous as your brain pretends it is. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop believing you need to feel like it before you start. Stop treating procrastination like a moral failure that requires more discipline to fix. Gary is operating exactly as designed. You just need to work with him instead of against him. 2 minutes. That's the gap between where you are and where you want to be. 2 minutes to sneak past Gary, eliminate the anxiety, and prove that you're more capable than your procrastination wants you to believe. The tasks you're avoiding are almost always easier than Gary thinks they are, but you'll never know that until you actually start them. The clock starts now. Go prove Gary wrong.